Hi there. Do you like baking, and do you have kids that are learning how to talk? Today we're going to cover some basics on helping your preschooler to use future tense in their sentences by providing adult models to them within a baking activity of one of my favorite things to make. These are pumpkin cranberry butterscotch cookies, so stay tuned. I'm Tamra. I'm a bilingual pediatric SLP, that is speech-language pathologist, and I love all things child language. Speaking in the future tense is an important language skill for children to develop because they want to tell you of their plans that they're making for the future, or ask you what the family will be doing in the future, later today or tomorrow. Children usually start off talking by using the present tense, and later they will develop past and future tenses. Sometimes they may need some modeling or cues to help them to start using these sentence structures. Today I'm going to show you how I introduce and get my own children to use future tense sentences within a simple language activity at home. I really like to use baking with my children when focusing on language skills because they're highly motivated to talk in order to continue on with the baking activity. And when I use a specific activity, I'm more intentional about addressing a specific goal in a finite amount of time. Before we even get started with this activity, I tell the kids, we are going to make pumpkin cookies. There are lots of things that we will need to do in order to get started here. We will need to get out a bowl. We will need to get out some spoons, etc. We will make cookies, lays the foundation for working on the future tense verb, I will or we will. You'll see in this first clip that I'm first presenting what will you do, and my son just really doesn't know quite how he's supposed to answer. It takes him hearing some prompting from me and hearing a model from his sister before he forms the sentence, I will dump the sugar. You'll see that I provide verbal models as needed. Depending on how quickly your child is catching on to the task of using the future tense, you might give him or her the first word or words of the sentence, I will, and then see if they can finish up the sentence for themselves. What will you do? I will add the sugar. Hey, what will you do? I will. What will you do?
I will dump the sugar. I will dump the sugar.
Very good. I will mix the sugar.
I will mix the sugar.
Note that if you're not getting responses immediately, you might offer a question. Will you stir or will you dump? In order for the child to give an appropriate response with their selection. What will you add next?
Vanilla.
Charlie, what will you do?
Charlie wants me to.
Will you stir or will you dump?
I will stir.
Okay, who will dump?
I will. I will.
Okay,
Thank you.
now Charlie will do what?
Dump.
I will mix.
I will mix.
Okay, what's the next step?
I will do the pumpkin.
Next, I ask questions. What will you do next? Will you scoop or will you stir? What do you do with the pumpkin? Do you scoop it? Do you stir it?
Scoop it and stir it.
Okay, so we can make a sentence. I will scoop the pumpkin.
I will pumpkin. I will scoop the pumpkin. I will stir the pumpkin.
She will scoop the pumpkin and he will stir the pumpkin. Next, what we need to add to our pumpkin cookies is flour, baking soda, and baking powder.
Okay, I will help.
What will we add? And
vanilla.
we already did that. Flour.
Flour.
We will add flour, baking soda,
Baking soda and
baking powder.
powder.
Okay. Charlie, what will we add?
Baking powder and baking soda. And
Very good.
And flour.
Yes. Ideally, you want to ask a question and have a silent count going in your head. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, before you jump in with another prompt for your child. In this situation, it was really hard because 5-year-old sister likes to jump in and answer the questions first. That again, what will you do? Charlie, what will you do?
Baking soda, baking powder. I will do the flour. I will do the flour.
Remember that we need future tense in questions, not just statements. So it's important that you as the parent are asking questions using the future tense and having your child respond back to you, and vice versa. That is how we use language, asking and answering questions. Will you fold in the flour?
Yes. Fold it in.
I will fold it in.
I will fold it in.
And next, I think we're going to need to shake some cinnamon and nutmeg in there. What will we do?
Shake some cinnamon and nutmeg in.
We will shake some cinnamon and nutmeg.
We will shake some cinnamon and nutmeg.
Notice all the different verbs that I'm using during this cooking activity with the construction I will or we will. There is research that states that using at least 24 different exemplars or 24 different words is going to be helpful for a child to generalize using that particular grammatical structure within their speech.
I will shake the cinnamon.
Okay, mister, what will you shake?
I will shake
The nutmeg.
the nutmeg.
Okay, go ahead. It's this one.
I'll help you, okay? This one. I'm gonna help you. I gotta do something.
Do you notice that he's really getting the hang of this future tense? He comes up all on his own with, I will shake the nutmeg. That's not how he was doing at the beginning of this cooking activity. Next, it's time to add the craisins.
Next is time to add the craisins. I will add the craisins.
You know what I'm going to ask you without even me asking you. You are so smart. Okay.
I will eat the craisins.
Well, I was going to tell you, we will scoop the craisins. Will you help me scoop the craisins? Will you scoop the craisins?
No.
No? Will you scoop the craisins? I will scoop the craisins.
I will scoop the craisins.
So you will scoop the craisins, and what will he do?
Eat the craisins. Eat the craisins.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yes.
I will eat the craisins.
I will eat the craisins.
Aside from learning future tense, we're learning a new verb, zest. I don't know if she knows what zest means, but she comes up with her own definition right here. What will you do?
I will zest the orange.
What does it mean to zest an orange?
Scrape it.
Yeah, it's kind of like I will scrape the orange.
Yeah.
What will we do next?
Bake it.
Right, but before we bake it, we need to do what?
Make it
What's-
in circles.
Right, we need to roll them.
Yes.
We will roll the cookies.
You will roll the cookies.
The way that we know that kids are starting to get it is we don't have to offer that prompting or those questions anymore, and they're just coming up with the future tense all on their own, within their own sentences. Now that we put the cookies in balls on the cookie sheet, where will we put them next?
Oven!
Yep, can you make a sentence to tell me where?
We will put them in the oven.
Charlie, what will we do?
We will put them in the oven.
Very good. Will you pick a cookie?
Yes, we will. We will.
I
will pick a cookie.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, pick a cookie. Now I will eat the cookie.
Yeah.
So, to recap what we did. First, I began with laying out the task. Today we will make cookies. Asking them questions, providing a verbal model. To note that I allowed for multiple opportunities for repetition of the future tense within this activity. We spent probably an hour baking. From the beginning, my son did not know what was expected of him for using the future tense. He relied on models. But by the end of the activity, you could see that he was using some future tense sentences independently when I only provided him with a question in the future tense. Helping your child to learn language is not always easy. Sometimes it really takes a specific task and narrowing your focus in order to really target a specific goal. Sometimes it's pretty easy to get caught up in using the same action words over and over and over. So make sure that you grab my worksheet with this video that talks about different future tense verbs and has some models for 30 different sentences you could use with different verb forms for baking. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about child language, follow me on facebook.com/speechwithheart. If you're wondering how you can modify this activity for your toddler or older child to match their language needs, check out the contact link on my website, speechwithheart.com, so we can be in touch. And also, you can contact me if you'd like me to share my cookie recipe as well. Thanks.